Rian Johnson was actually welcoming some recent fan analysis of The Last Jedi because one person, Jonathan McIntosh at Radical Bites, feels that most people read a certain scene wrong.
An important scene, no less.
Yeah, I mean, pivotal. He says a handful of The Last Jedi haters in my mentions are offering up a fascinating misreading of the final showdown between Luke and Vader in Return of the Jedi. I think it's worth taking a moment to discuss because it may help explain why these guys hate Luke's character so much. The misreading. Luke Skywalker uses his great warrior skills to defeat Darth Vader. Once he's proven himself in combat and standing victorious, Luke does the honorable thing by showing mercy and sparing his enemy, thereby saving himself from corruption and redeeming his father. What really happened? Luke tries to avoid fighting but gives into anger as he beats Vader in combat. Luke realizes his great mistake. Winning this fight means losing his soul to the dark side. The battle itself is corrupting him. Understanding this, Luke throws away his weapon. Notice that the misreading above reframes Luke as a badass warrior and reframes his refusal to kill Vader as an act of mercy. Stemming from a position of power, this is significant because Luke beating Vader in combat is explicitly depicted as a moment of weakness, not strength. Luke's arc in the original trilogy ends with him not only refusing to kill the bad guy, but refusing to even fight a worse villain. This is why Luke's force projection standoff with Kylo in The Last Jedi is so perfect. It's the ultimate expression of everything Luke has learned.
I get it. I get it. Sometimes you're just reading and then you're wondering if people are even paying attention to what you're reading.
It goes on and on. It's a long chain. But basically what he's saying is he's being very true to what he's learned as a Jedi, his lesson he's learned after defeating Vader.
Yeah, and it's sort of
that
this...
he's more of a monk.
It's a Rashomon-style telling that Rian Johnson does when recounting the moment when he has the lightsaber over Kylo. Right? So in Luke's memory of it, it is that he has his lightsaber over and decides to turn it off before he realizes his mistake, much like he did in the fight in Return of the Jedi, throws his weapon away. However, what Kylo sees is an angry Luke over him with a lightsaber. He remembers it differently. And the truth is probably somewhere in the middle, but for me it worked for both. Yeah, for me it worked for both characters.
All right. I mean, I think I certainly read it the way you said Kylo Ren read it the first time.
Oh, did you?
Oh, he's nuts. But then if you think about it more, his life has changed. It's kind of not been the stellar super action hero that you might expect. He's not the same as a Superman or a Batman. He has a very nuanced arc that maybe can be read a few different ways.
Yeah, and I think that I had no problem with what they did with him in The Last Jedi. I didn't.
had one problem.
What was it? Go ahead.
The milk.
What did you not like about it?
I didn't like him dribbling that milk. I didn't like it getting into his beard.
As a beard haver, and Andrew, of course, can attest to this because his beard is very long, I will drink things often that I don't mean to get on my beard, but I will have it on my beard. I don't think he was like, watch how messy I can drink this alien milk. I think he was like, whoops.
Whoops, I don't care.
They probably cut away before he said sorry and then wiped him off with his very rough tunic that he wore. I really enjoy the movie. I think there's parts of it, you know, I could have, there's arcs with the casino that I'm just like, okay, I guess I'll watch this. It seems to be entertaining. I love a casino. Luckily they weren't playing Baccarat because I don't understand how that game works. But I really enjoyed the arc, and I thank Rian Johnson all the time for that shot of Luke standing before all those AT-ATs, just ready to go. Even though it's a forced projection, I don't care. The image is now in my head.
That was a great scene. I'll never forget this.
Ah, come on. That's just good stuff. And the throne room fight. Yeah. That's probably the best fight in the franchise.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you want to throw down with me, it's at Matt Mira, M-I-R-A. And guess what? I really don't check Twitter, so you'll be yelling into the air.
Just like most Twitter interactions.
Yeah.